Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my All Day I Eat cooking session. My name is Patrick. I'm the creator of alldayieat.com, and today we're going to be using miso paste right here to make several delicious miso dishes. So one of them is going to be with mackerel. One of them is going to be with konnyaku and daikon, which I have simmering right there. And then the last one is going to be with eggplant, Japanese eggplant. Sounds like my rice is ready. Turn that off. So in case you missed me last time, so last time we made sukiyaki, and I think before that, what did we make before that? Mapo tofu. So if you want to see those, I'll be including links in the description below. And for you replay watchers, let me know what you guys think of this, and if you have any questions. So question of the day, what is your favorite miso recipe? I know what my favorite miso recipe is. It's going to be this mackerel misoni that we're going to be making today. So I have some thawed, frozen, or these mackerel fillets were frozen, but I thawed them. So we're going to go ahead and get those ready. We're going to need 2 fillets for this recipe. So drain out any of the, oops, fell into the sink. So I'm just going to give these a quick rinse. And then we'll pat them dry with a paper towel. So this recipe is pretty straightforward. You really only need a few ingredients. I have them ready to go right here. So we have a 1/4 cup of sake, about 4 tablespoons of miso paste, a tablespoon of sugar, and 1.5 cups of water. So let me cut up. We finished getting these eggplant out of the way. So we'll cut these into about 1/2 inch pieces. And I want to make space for the raw fish. So we'll just go ahead and finish preparing these first. So there is live chat if you guys want to try to message me. Just say hello. So I'm going to be using 4 eggplant. You can actually cut these either the long way or in circles. It's totally up to you. Obviously, if you do it the long way, it's less work, less cutting, but today we're going to be going for some presentation points, and we're going to do it the short way. So one other thing that you can do also is peel it. So we're going to peel into, I guess, four sections. And this is also just for presentation. You don't have to do this. I want to make it look nice. So we'll just do half of them peeled and half of them unpeeled. My peeler doesn't want to cooperate. All right, so there's half of them. Now we're just going to cut this into about 3/4 of an inch thick pieces. So let's see. So it's about this thick. And the reason that you don't want it to get too thick is that it's going to take longer to cook. So I want to keep it somewhat small. And the end pieces, you can actually just cut them in half since they have like kind of a weird shape. You don't want them to be, I don't know, they won't fit in when we plate it. So this is about how you want them to look, and you can see that they look kind of nice with the skin peeled, as opposed to these that are just straight black. So just for looks. All right, so what we're going to do now, I have a bowl of potato starch here. This is katakuriko. You can use cornstarch if you want. We're just going to dress it so that they're lightly coated, and we're actually going to pan fry this before we put our miso glaze on. So I'm just going to set them aside for now. You don't have to soak them in water. Some people do to get the bitterness out, but I haven't really found Japanese eggplant to be that bitter, so I just leave it the way it is. Let me check my chat. All right. Okay, so now we have our mackerel here. It's nice and dried, ready to go. We're going to cut this into about 2 to 3 inches, I guess, long. And the reason for this is just for presentation again. So into thirds roughly. And now this is all ready to go. So what I didn't tell you yet about I have some daikon that I have simmering. I've been cooking it for about 20 minutes in the leftovers, or what is used to wash rice. So that's called togijiru. And it's been simmering in here. That's why the liquid looks kind of white. I'll show you what it looks like really quick. So this helps to make the color nice and white. I don't know if you can kind of see it, but it also helps to take out any of the bitterness, and it also makes the daikon nice and white. So I'm going to keep that simmering. Looks like the flame went out. All right, so now I'm going to make the sauce for the mackerel. So we're going to add in this water first. So this is 1.5 cups of water. Add in the 1 tablespoon of sugar. Add in this is mirin actually. I think I said sake, but that's mirin. And then miso. So we're going to bring this to simmer, and as soon as it starts to simmer, we're going to add the fish and then cover it and let it cook for about 10 minutes, and then it'll be done. All right, so that's ready to go. What I'm going to do now is cook the other side dish. So we have our eggplant, and then we also have our daikon and konnyaku side. So this is konnyaku if you've never seen it before. It smells kind of gross, but it doesn't really have any flavor. And it goes really well with the miso glaze that we're making, so it's a good fit. And since we're going to cook this, I'm just going to use the same cutting board. It doesn't matter if there's fish on it. So we're going to cut this into triangles. So there's 1 triangle, there's another triangle, and another triangle. So the daikon is roughly the same size, about, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 inches big. So we're going to cut this konnyaku about the same size. If you want, you can cut it smaller. It's totally up to you. So let's see. Okay, so what I have here, this is to season this pot right here. This has about a teaspoon of shoyu, which is soy sauce, Japanese soy sauce, and then 2 cups of light dashi. So I did dashi at about 1/2 strength. And what we're going to do is season the daikon and then the konnyaku in this dashi and shoyu broth that I just made. So I'm going to put this konnyaku in there so this can get started. And then I'm going to drain the daikon. So this should be about ready to go. A strainer. All right, so here is my daikon. This is, I don't know if you can see it. Let me show you this way. It's cooked and ready to be seasoned, so we're going to add it in here. It's probably about 2 cups worth. And we're going to simmer it in that sauce for about 3 to 5 minutes. So this looks like the miso paste is starting to melt. Hasn't started to boil yet, but should be ready in a minute. So we can cover that while that is heating up. And it's 510 right now, so in 513 we can take it off the heat and drain it, and then we will go ahead and make the dengaku sauce, which is a miso. It's a sweet miso paste. So I have 2 tablespoons of sugar here, 2 tablespoons of mirin, and then, oops, sorry about that, about, I think this is a half teaspoon of dashi powder, and then a 1/4 cup of miso paste. So we're going to actually cook this all together in a saucepan. Once that one's freed up, we're going to thicken it. So it'll be a nice thick sauce. So the sweetness from the sugar and the miso really complement each other since the miso is pretty salty. And you get a nice umami flavor from the dashi as well. So try to dissolve this as much as possible so that you don't have any clumps while you are cooking this. Hey Mary, long time no see. Hope you are enjoying this. All right, so this is just about starting to boil. So I'm going to go ahead and put the mackerel in. It's also known as saba in Japanese. And you want to make sure that when you add this, you put it the flesh side down so that it really gets the seasoning. Oops, spilled a little bit. So we're going to turn down the heat to low and let this simmer for about 10 minutes, so 522-ish, and then that fish will be ready. So the next thing that we have to do is cut the ginger for the fish. So I need to clean up my cutting boards. Okay, I had a big piece of ginger somewhere. I don't know where I put it. All right, found it. So this is my ginger. We're going to use about maybe 2 to 3 inches worth. It's totally up to you how much you like ginger. If you like it a lot or if you don't like it, you can omit it, but it really adds to the flavor. So we're going to slice some of it, about half of it, and the other half we're going to cut into matchsticks. So one way that you can easily de-skin ginger is using a spoon. If you don't have a peeler, you don't have to worry about it cutting you or cutting yourself with a peeler or with a knife. I don't know, have you guys done this with ginger before? It's pretty straightforward. So usually you can get like 80% of it off. Sometimes I just have to go and finish it with my knife. And it's optional, you can leave the skin on. Sometimes I leave it on. But if you don't want to be eating the skin, then you can just peel it like I'm doing right now. All right. So make sure that nothing is boiling over. Turning down the heat on both the konnyaku and daikon, and then also my mackerel. So I said we wanted slices, so we're going to go ahead and slice them. So you want these slices to be about a 1/4 inch thick. And we're going to add them into the mackerel so that this infuses the ginger flavor into the fish. So this other piece we're going to actually cut into little matchsticks, about a 1/4 inch thick. And then some of these we're going to actually put into the pan, and then some we're going to save as a garnish. So you can put this in also at the end. If you don't want that cooked flavor, it's totally up to you. All right, so we're going to take out the ugly looking pieces and save the better ones for the garnish. So this is roughly a tablespoon of ginger. And try to spread it evenly around so that it's not all in one spot. Okay, so 5:17, so I think we're a little bit overdue for the daikon and the konnyaku. So this is how it looks. And if you can see it, try to tilt it. And we're just going to strain this now. All right, so now this smells like soy sauce and dashi, so very fragrant. So now we're going to plate it. It's just about ready. We're going to reuse this same pot to cook down this sauce just a little bit. We just want it to be thickened up a little bit. You can see it's kind of watery, so we're going to cook it roughly maybe 3 to 5 minutes and get it nice and thick. And different recipes call for different, I guess, ingredients or ratios. You can use soy sauce or sake in this one, or if you want to make a variation of it. And but the flavor is really good. It's sweet and salty, so if that's the kind of thing that you like, this is actually one of the things that I always like to get when I'm in Kyoto, since it's one of their specialties down there. Eating it with tofu is one of my favorites. So maybe that'll be a dish that I share with you sometime. Okay, so while this is going, we want to prepare the eggplant. So remember, I had some eggplant here that was ready to be fried, so we're going to pan fry it. And I guess we can plate that too. So the daikon is nice and hot. Actually, these chopsticks won't work. Just going to use tongs since it's easier. So here's one. Let me show you how it looks. 2. Here's a giant piece of konnyaku. Actually, I should have cut this in half now looking at how big it is compared to the daikon, but too late now. So there's that and that. So now all we're going to do is put the miso paste on this, and it'll be ready to eat. So meanwhile, we can get this started. Make sure that this is evenly mixed. So I'm just going to shake it so that they're lightly coated in the potato starch. This is optional. You can just, if you really wanted to, you could just pan fry it the way it is, or you can even, if you don't want to use oil, you can just bake it in the oven. So you can see that they're lightly coated in potato starch. So I'm going to preheat my saute pan, throw on some olive oil. Oh, it's actually already hot. All right, so it's ready to go. I'm just going to put it in. Okay. So I'm going to put in about quarter cup of olive oil total. If you know eggplant, you'll know, if you've cooked with it before, you know that it likes to soak up oil. So that's one of the reasons why I actually just throw this stuff in the oven and bake it. That way you don't have to use oil. But sometimes I like to indulge. I'm sure you do too. I'm going to turn down the heat to a medium-low. And make sure that each of these sides gets nicely browned. And so let that cook for a little bit. Keep an eye on your miso sauce to make sure that's getting nice and thick. I think this needs a few more minutes. And the mackerel is just about done. It smells like ginger and miso. It smells delicious. So I'm going to turn off the heat there. Don't need any of the potato starch. So at this point, what we're just waiting for is the miso paste to thicken up. Eggplant to finish. That'll go on a separate plate. And we're almost ready to eat dinner. So check in here. Hey Vicky, I hope that you're enjoying this. I'm sorry that it's taking so long. All right. So I think fried eggplant is probably my favorite. I don't like it so much baked, but I like it fried. So this is a light fry. We're not deep frying it. We're just using a little bit of oil to try to keep it healthy. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could deep fry it. So I'm just flipping these over to make sure that the eggplant is browning on all sides. So one thing I forgot to tell you guys is that when you're cooking daikon and eggplant thick vegetables like this, what you can do is score the vegetable about a quarter inch to a half inch deep, and that helps to increase the surface area, and then it'll allow it to cook much quicker. So that is a pro tip when you're cooking thick vegetables. All right, so the miso sauce is much thicker, so I turned off the heat. Let's go ahead and serve some rice. All right. Nice and hot. So there's my rice. And here's the thickened miso paste. If you really wanted to, I suppose that you could reduce it even more. But this looks good to me, and plus I'm hungry, so I'm just going to eat it right now, the way it is. All right. We're going to use this exact same sauce for the eggplant. So as soon as that's ready, we can go ahead and plate that also. Okay, so let's go ahead and plate the mackerel. We've been waiting for this for the last 25 minutes. Didn't take too long now, did it? Let's see, so I need a spatula. I'll use a fish spatula so I don't break it. And let me just show you how it looks in the pan, if you can't see it that well. I don't know if you can see it that well, but I'll do my best. I should get a mirror so I can show you guys how it looks. All right, so that's ready to go. And I'm actually going to flip it over so that the skin side is down. Looks a little bit more presentable in my opinion. I don't know, what do you guys think? Skin side up or skin side down? All right. I think 3 pieces is enough. Usually 3/4 of a mackerel fillet is enough to fill me up. And if you like a thicker sauce, what I've done before in the past is just simmer this without the lid. So it's up to you. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put some of this delicious miso broth over the mackerel. And this will also be ready to eat. Okay, and then the eggplant, some of them are cooking faster than others, so let's go ahead and take these out. Oh yeah, this is going to be really good. This one's not ready. So I'll take some out that we peeled to show you what it looks cosmetically or how it looks different from the non-peeled ones. And I guess you guys can tell me which one you like more, but I personally think that it looks better when it's peeled. All right, so see how it looks? We have some that are peeled and then the non-peeled ones. The non-peeled ones just look like regular sauteed eggplant, and the peeled ones look a little bit more fun. So just wanted to show you that. And we can go ahead and put the miso paste on. Oh yeah, so the fresh ginger here is just as a garnish for the... Sorry, I keep getting distracted. I'm doing too many things at once. So that's your ginger garnish for your mackerel. And we're going to put this paste over the eggplant. And this is ready to eat as well. So not too bad in about 30 minutes time for a Thursday night if you want to be cooking. If you want to try something new, these recipes are pretty straightforward. Hopefully I demonstrated that for you guys. Hey Lauren, glad that you can join. All right, so let's go ahead and taste everything. All my hard work. So here is the eggplant. Miso Dengaku is what it's called in Japanese. It's got a sweet miso paste on it. Oh yeah. Delicious. And the good thing to have with this, obviously, is a white bowl of rice, or not a white bowl, white rice. That's because this is pretty salty. It's got a lot of flavor. Same with the mackerel. So let's go ahead and try the daikon next. I don't know about you, but I like to eat the appetizers first. So, oops. Yeah. Top notch. Number one. This really tastes good. I wish you could have it with me. Maybe one of these days that will be possible and we can teleport this to each other. All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Next week, I'm going to be going live on Wednesday. So if you want to join me, tune in at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And make sure to check out my blog, alldayIeat.com, for the recipe which I have posted for the mackerel. I'll go ahead and post these other two recipes in the next week or so. And that's it for today. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them below. Make sure to share this with somebody if you found it helpful. And I will see you next week. So thanks again, and have a great weekend.